Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion and my cohort Ja. We are off today to do some filming locations. Tried to do this about 4 or 5 years ago, could only see a little bit of it, so we're gonna try and do it again. See some of the memorable locations from the great A League of Their Own, directed by Penny Marshall, starring Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, Madonna. Fantastic movie from 1992. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Here we are, Huntingburg City Park. And look at what is right directly in front of us. The Rockford Peaches bus. So we are at historic League Stadium, and it truly is historic because it is the third oldest baseball park in America, Fenway being first. It is the oldest park in Indiana, and this was where the Rockford Peaches played their home games in the movie. So we saw more of this park than any other park. But let me show you some of the scenes that happened at that bus. This is beyond cool. Okay, so what I think happened, when I came here before, I think I probably came here in February, and it was not baseball season. It was considered winter months, so I think they had this put away. So I didn't get in the stadium, which I think we can today. They have a game of some sort going on, and I didn't get to see this because it wasn't here. The bummer to this is that this is the actual bus for sure, and they say it is and everything, but the bummer of it is that they repainted the other side so it doesn't say Rockford Peaches, and the other side is the one that you really see predominantly in the movie. That's why I wanted to show you some of the scenes. Look, they did add some stuff to the back where you can see here it says League Stadium as seen in A League of Their Own down here at the bottom. So it's cool it's out here and not being, you know, I guess as long as it were somewhere where we could see it. If it were in a museum, I'd be cool with that. But yeah, they put the, I assume that's Dubois County Bombers. They painted that on here. This is the side that you see in the movie.
Don't use my bad, use Marlins, it's heavier! Well, Civil Angel, have another chocolate bar. Gimme.
When the driver quits and he takes off and everything, all the girls are over here conspiring. They're smoking, and May and all the girls.
A roadhouse called the Suds Bucket.
Girls, please. Mr. Gusatelli shan't be returning.
But yeah, unfortunately they repainted that. And then when Jimmy comes out and yells because he's gonna be the driver, he comes out of the door and everything right there. Hey, you girls, get up! Blah, 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 blah. Is that English?
A car could have came by me.
Hey, come on, you girls, we got dinner!
What?
Get up, bus!
What did he say? Is that English?
So funny. Jimmy sat, there's the driver's seat, but Tom Hanks' seat was like right behind it. Looks like they put some newer seats in there. He was sitting right behind it because when the lady who's like the chaperone tries to wake him up, remember he kisses her and says, "I loved you" in the Wizard of Oz. So there it is. If you want to come out and take a photo because you love the movie as much as I do, it's out here during the spring and summer months at least. So we'll go on in. It looks like it's decorated the way it was in the movie too, with all the American flag bunting and stuff hanging down. And all those say A League of Their Own up there. Roll call booth. Oh, Rockford Peaches right here on the outside of this, on the gift shop. League Stadium. Check this out, they have a poster from the movie here on display and some stars. So here they're proudly letting you know A League of Their Own was filmed here, and they gave pretty much everybody a star with their character name. Tom Hanks, Jimmy Dugan, Penny Marshall, Rosie O'Donnell, Doris Murphy, Ann Ramsey, Eddie Schramm, Gary Marshall. Everybody is accounted for. Look, even Dottie's husband, who's barely in the movie, Stillwell, Ann Cusack, Shirley Baker, who can't read, Marla Hooch. That is their League Stadium Walk of Fame. Gina Davis, Kit Keller.
There's 2 sets of restroom facilities here in Lake.
And I wonder if this is like because all of them have been out here. How crazy is that? Harry Shearer. I didn't even know Tay Leone was in this. I'll see if I can show you or explain to you. I was kind of hoping maybe I'd get lucky and it'd just be open with no game and I could walk around freely, but that's alright. Looks the same. When you watch the movie, you can see all these beams, the white and the green off coloring. Up there, that's where they're calling the game from whenever they're doing the announcing.
And the Rockford Peaches.
And they give a lot of perspective shots from up there. Since this was the Rockford Peaches home park, some of the things that you would have seen as their first game, when Jimmy just doesn't care and he's sleeping in the dugout, that happens over in that dugout. All the girls get announced, they're lined up right here, and everybody's kind of like booing and
It's a field.
People here. Nervous stars. Yeah. I ain't.
everything, and they run out onto the field. This is where Kit was pitching, Dottie was the catcher, of course, and Jimmy's just asleep over in the dugout, and he's at the far end. So he was like basically down here as far as you can get. There's like a drinking fountain down there that he was sleeping next to.
Number 23, Kit Keller.
But they have him come out to like take his hat off and take his acknowledgments. That's when he's like, Bosse, you can kiss my ass. Kiss my big hairy ass, yes you can. It's pretty hilarious. But yeah, this is where all the home games, you can even see in the outfield, they have a, read about the Rockford Peaches Morning Star.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Same scoreboard and everything from the movie. And then in that same part in the movie, you remember when all the girls are warming up before the game starts, there's that guy who's standing up on the dugout dancing around going like, hey, look at me, I'm a girl, I'm playing baseball.
32, Marla Hooch. Girls can't play ball! Batting fifth and playing field, number 11, Shirley. The shortstop, number 1, Ellen Sue Gutland. Number 17.
Everybody's laughing. And the third baseman, no, the shortstop throws a hard throw over here and knocks him over. That happens right there. So in this game, this is the visitor side. Dottie would have been catcher right there. So if you watch the movie, you'll be able to see these big radio antennas, and then for the lights and everything, you'll be able to see those in the movie. That all still matches up. They still have the old school advertising in the outfield. That's all the big Rockford scenes. Then we'll go out to Bosse or Bosse Field in Evansville. That's where they did all the racing games. If you're a fan of the movie, this place definitely gives you the vibes. I mean, I've been to a lot of places, they don't always feel that same way. This does feel a League of Their Own vibe still to me. I don't think I'll get to see it, but one thing I would have loved to have shown was, and I'm not sure where it is either now that I think about it, because in the movie you see windows above where the player locker room is, and you can see the bus outside, but I don't think that's here. That's the first time they see Jimmy Dugan. He comes in, pees in the urinal forever, and May uses the stopwatch. There it is. Welcome to League Stadium, as seen in A League of Their Own. Oh, look at this, the bathroom. It says Dotties and Dugans. Wait a minute, this says museum. Museum, huh? Wow, they have like the original dugout in here. Like, yeah, look at that. That's interesting. Huh. That is crazy. There's no crying in baseball, it says down there. Oh, looks like those are, oh, look at that. Those are the original lockers. Dottie's right there, Evelyn, Doris, Kit. And these are faded a little bit, but that one you can see says Betty, and the middle one's faded to Marla. There's a couple of bats in there still. So that must be one of the original benches from the movie, I would guess, right? That's what this leads us to believe. That is so cool that they have the original lockers from the movie. And here are the original Rockford Peaches that were depicted in the movie. Dorothy Comanchak was the real Dottie, and Mildred Deegan, who I've vlogged before, Dorothy Doyle. Don't worry, I'm gonna finish out this vlog by going to the real Rockford Field where the real Peaches played. Dottie Ferguson. Okay, when I came out this side, there's the Dubois County Bombers logo, but it's worth continuing to go because if you come out here a little further, you see it's quoted by Tom Hanks, is what it says in the bottom. The movie A League of Their Own. There's no crying in baseball. Nice. Place is just loaded with memories of the movie. All right. And if you must cry, they have a designated crying area. Just come grab a seat. Only 3 per time though. What a cool experience. All right, so fingers crossed we'll get into the next location. Last time I did this, I showed up there and actually I got lucky and somebody was there doing their laundry and they let me in. So worst case scenario, I can show you that footage if we don't get in again. Hello, Santa Claus. Big giant Santa Claus right there. Doesn't get any bigger than that. The next location is here in Evansville, Indiana. Don Mattingly Way, you gotta love that. Right beside the entrance to the park. Not only do they acknowledge hometown boy Don Mattingly, but also hometown boy Bob Greasy. Miami Dolphins. Great career. Played for Purdue, hometown boy. Okay, unfortunately, the Evansville, the home of the Evansville Otters, which is Bosse Field. This was the home. Maybe right here it doesn't look like it. You're like, what? If you look at it from the side, you might remember when they have the World Series, the guy's selling programs out there.
First game of the first ever Women's Baseball World Series. This is history of the making, folks. History of the...
Because this is where the, after Kit's traded to Racine, the Peaches end up meeting up with Racine in the World Series right here. The guy's out here selling programs and stuff, and then a guy comes up and says, I need one of those. My daughter's the third baseman, Doris Murphy.
Oh, where are you from? Staten Island. I'm going to surprise you. After the game, I'm going to take you out for a steak dinner.
So crazy enough, you know, this is, it's closed, unfortunately. You know, that's always the downside when you're going to filming locations. You never know what'll be open or what's closed. The last time I came here, there was literally a car parked right here, and this place was closed then, and I waited for about half an hour, and finally somebody came out and said they were in there doing their laundry, and they let me go in and film. So I will show you the filming locations from inside here, because the whole last game where, you know, Kit comes charging in at home plate and knocks over Dottie and the ball rolls out of her hand, that all happened here. At the end of the movie, after the Rockford Peaches lose, Dottie's husband has returned, and this is where Dottie's husband meets Jimmy Dugan. That's when he says, you've got a heck of a ball player here, and that's the last time that we see in the movie that Dottie and Jimmy Dugan ever see each other again. Now another filming location matchup is right here. After the game, this is where the two buses are parked. The Rockford Peach bus right here, and the Racine Bells bus would have been parked right up here.
Hey, Kit! Lay off of those high ones.
I like the high one.
And this is where we see Jimmy Dugan get on the bus, and he tells Miss Cuthbert to save him a seat, you cutie. And that's where we see Dottie, played by Gina Davis, yells to her sister, played by Lori Petty, Kit, lay off the high ones. And that's where Kit yells back from over here, I like the high ones. And they both get on the buses, and that's our last shot here. Now one way you can really tell that this is the same ballpark from the movie is, you see that building behind the ballpark back there? It says Crawford Garage Doors. That's in the movie. That was, I think it was white in the movie, but it was still called Crawford, and it's still back there. You can see actually when Madonna's running to catch some fly balls, you can see it behind her. Well, I can't believe it. They let me in. Take a look, man. These are the stands. These are the stands that we see in the movie. How about that? That's so cool. Now let's look over here, because right over there you can see the Racine Bells support sign. There it is. How cool is that? Now it's about to get a lot cooler. It's about to get a lot cooler because they, when I told them what I was doing, they were totally cool with it. So I'm gonna show you the dugout. In the World Series, this was the Rockford Peach dugout right here. And then that one over there is the one that the Racine Bells are in. And when Kit is having a rough game, that's when she comes into this dugout over here and is sitting on the edge of the bench crying, like hitting herself in the head with a baseball glove. And the catcher is saying, don't worry, Kit, we have one more inning, we'll get him.
One run and we are back in this ball game.
And that's, I think she's sitting basically right here, and the catcher is sitting up on there. So like I said, the big ending to the game was right here.
Swing and a miss, strike one.
This is where the Rockford Peaches have it. They pretty much have won the game. One more out because Dottie, right before this, had run over and jumped into the dugout and caught that foul ball. So it's like, it's in the bag. They have this game won. And then Kit comes up. Dottie goes out to the mound and says, give her a high fastball. She can't hit him and she can't lay off him. So that would have been out here at this diamond, or this pitcher's mound right out here. They would have walked back. Kit would have been batting over here. They throw her that fastball. You can actually see where Dottie would have been standing. And Kit, believe it or not, crushes it. Hits it over Evelyn's head. You can see, like I mentioned, you can see that building in the background. But then Kit decides she's not going to wait at third, and she comes barreling home for the win. And it all happens right here. She barrels over Dottie, played by Gina Davis. Gina Davis falls backwards right here on her back, and we see her hand where the ball opens up and the ball just rolls right out of her hand, and Racine wins the championship. And then of course we see this shot right here where the whole team and the manager and everything for the Racine Bells jump up and come running and celebrating. That is absolutely totally cool of them to have let us in here today. They even said, you got really lucky. We're almost never here. This was just a fluke that I happened to be here, so it all worked out in the end. And then you can see over on the other side, they also have a Support the Racine Bells still posted up there from the movie as well. Take a look. These are the original seats, I believe, from when they built it, but they're also the original seats from the movie. Look how old they are. And this is just pure class. Look at this. They have a chair of honor for the prisoners of war. That's okay. Part of what I was excited about today was hoping that I would get to see the other field that I hadn't seen inside of. So now we've actually gotten to see inside both of the main fields that they filmed the movie in. And I really think it's cool that this building that you always see over Kit's, like over her shoulder in the background, it's still there. After all these years, you'd think it'd be gone, but that is still there. Watch the movie, you'll see it. Crawford Door Sales. So our next two locations for the movie are just outside of Evansville. One is south, so we're going there first to Henderson, Kentucky. And then the next is just a little north of Evansville. So our next location is the historic Augustus Owsley Stanley House. And in the movie, it's the Rockford Peaches boarding house. So most of the scenes are inside that we have from the movie, except for there's just one glorious scene where it's a real highlight reel of Tom Hanks. The Rockford Peaches bus is right out here, and they're getting ready to go to the World Series. And he's out here, why am I the only one at the bus?
Are you physically unable to show up on time?
Coming, Jimmy.
If you think you can do it at the batting practice, think again. Think again. Not with the way you've been hitting.
If you think you can do without the batting practice, think again. Think again, ladies. Oh yeah, let's not go to the World Series without Stillwell's toys. We see all the women filing out of here.
Oh, let's not go to the World Series without Stillwell's toys.
He's like, Alice, what time is it where you live? But he notices everybody is kind of looking over here, and one of the women says goodbye to Dottie, and Dottie's over here with her car. He realizes that she has decided to leave the team. So Tom Hanks is kind of right up here and walks over to the car, which is right there, and that's when he has that talk with her. And
Good luck in the World Series.
taking a little day trip?
No, Bob and I are driving home.
If you want to go back and have 100 kids in Oregon, that's your business. Who am I to tell anybody how to live? But I really think you're a ball player, and you know, I wasted 5 years of my life to drinking, and there's not one day that I wouldn't give, or you know, anything I wouldn't give to get one of those days back. She says, well, I guess that's why we're different. Just got too hard, and he said the heart is what makes you great.
Well, we're different. Bye, Jimmy.
She basically lets him know that she's gonna leave, and old Jimmy Dugan gets on the Rockford Peaches bus right here, and they take off to Racine. Then of course she comes and joins them later on, but this is also when he's here yelling at the women, trying to get them to come out. The two kids come up here and ask him for his autograph, and he signs that autograph right here.
Can you sign my baseball?
Sure. There.
Wow. Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan. Thanks. He's like, it's good advice. So there you go, the Rockford Peaches boarding house from A League of Their Own. Now back over the bridge. This one's kind of crazy because it kind of does fit the movie. It's like way out on a bunch of backcountry roads to get here, and it's out in the middle of nowhere by a bunch of houses. Crazy. It's actually right here. Woo! Windy out here. It's the Hornville Tavern. So in Maine, the girls say they're gonna go to the Suds Bucket, the old roadhouse. Once they get Miss Cuthbert all sick and everything, this is where they come. So they show this shot. But the interiors were actually filmed somewhere else. They were filmed at a place called Fitzgerald's. So you get this angle when they're establishing where they are. But then Dottie comes to warn all the girls that they have to get back because the guy running the league is on his way there, Mr. Lowenstein. If he finds them, they're all out of the league. They had a whole facade like with arches and stuff, so that's why it looks so different. But he would have pulled up in that car, that little kid, brings her up, and they park right there in the front, and that's when he's like, hey, dollface, why don't we go in the back seat and you make a man out of me? And she's like, how about I just smack you around for a little bit? He's like, can't we do both? So, yeah, unfortunately it's not open right now. I mean, literally, when I looked it up, it just says temporarily closed. So, and then their sign on one side says anticipation, anticipation, and the other side says, keep me waiting. So, Hornville Tavern, the exterior of the Suds Bucket. All right, we just made it to Rockford, home of Cheap Trick. I was warned this wasn't the nicest neighborhood. If you love the movie A League of Their Own, women's professional baseball team, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball Team, this is their real stadium where they actually performed, where they played the games. Home of the Rockford Peaches. All-American Girls Professional Baseball League from 1943 to 1954. League champions 1945, 48, 49, and 50. Looks like these are the original ticket booths. And of course the field is right through here. Let's take a look. Looks like one of the original signs completely worn off on both sides. They have a little, like a headstone over here of sorts. In honor of the Rockford Forest City Baseball Club of 1865 to 1871. Wow. So lots of baseball history, even before the Rockford Peaches. Then of course, home of the Rockford Peaches. And they call this the Peach Orchard. It says They were the most successful team in the history of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. 4 championship titles. A league of their own. And then this is kind of cool. And then it acknowledges some of the team greats. Going all the way around this. Dottie Ferguson Key. There's the field. Very well maintained. Looks like we can enter. Very cool. Look at the mural all over the inside. Hey Evelyn, come here. You kind of have to think of that when you see the bench, don't you? They didn't film it in here, of course. Let's check out the other dugout. They have some other stuff in there, other murals. Well, my friends, I think we're going to call it a day. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I know I certainly did. See y'all next time. Goodbye.